All right, sixth graders, this is to help you with question 2 on CR number 6. It says two whole numbers have a least common multiple of 120, okay? So to be a multiple of a number, like I'm just going to write out the multiples of 20. Would be 20. 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. 20 times 4 is 80. 20 times 5 is 100. 20 times 6 is 120. 20 times 7 is 140. So that's how we get the multiples of a number. You just take that number, multiply it by 1. Then you take that number, multiply it by 2, by 3, and so on. That's how you get multiples of a number. So two whole numbers have a least common multiple of 120. All right. Each number is less than or equal to 24. That's an important fact. The greatest common factor of the two numbers is 4. Okay, greatest common factor. Let's just look at our factors of 20. And I'm just randomly choosing 20 just to make sure that you understand what a factor is. So the factors of 20 would be 1 and 20, because 1 times 20 is 20. 2 and 10 would be factors of 20, because 2 times 10 is 20. Okay? 3 doesn't go into 20. 4 does. 4 times what is 20? Oh, 5. So 4 and 5 are factors of 20. 6 doesn't go into 20. 7 doesn't go into 20. 8 doesn't go into 20. 9 doesn't go into 20. And then we start repeating. So the factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Those are all of the factors of 20. Those are all the numbers that if I multiply pairs of them together, I get back to 20. All right. So it says the greatest common factor of the two numbers is 4. All right. What are the two numbers? Okay, given the fact that the greatest common factor is 4, that means 4 times something will get you to the first number, and 4 times something will get you to the second number that we're looking for. So that says these two numbers have to be multiples of 4. If you know 4 is a factor, so like here, 4 is a factor of 4 because 4 times 1 is 4. 4 is a factor of 8 because 4 times 2 is 8. 4 is a factor of 12 because 4 times 3 is 12. 4 is a factor of 16 because 4 times 4 is 16. 4 is a factor of 20 because 4 times 5 is 20. 4 is a factor of 24 because 4 times 6 is 24. So if I know the greatest common factor between the two numbers is 4, 4 has to be a factor of the two numbers. So these are the possible choices because our answer has to be, our two numbers have to be less than or equal to 24. So I don't even have to keep going. But if I know 4 is a factor of these two numbers, then these two numbers have to have 4 as a factor. And so here's lots of numbers that have 4 as a factor that are less than or equal to 24. Okay. But the least common multiple of the numbers has to be 120. So we have to pick a pair of factors here where the least common multiple is 120. Well, I've already written out the multiples of 20. So now you could start guessing and checking. 20 has 120 as a multiple. I can tell you 4 will have 120 as a multiple, but let me just try to show you. So let's say I thought, well, maybe the numbers are 4 and 20. I'm guessing and checking. Lots of ways to go about this problem. I don't know how your teachers have taught you, but this is a guess and check method. So if I write out the multiples of 4, good news is I already have lots of them written here. Multiples of 4 would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And if I look at the multiples of 20, That would be 20, 40, 60. Oh, goodness. The least common multiple between 4 and 20 is 20. 20 is the smallest multiple that 4 and 20 have in common. Okay, so it can't be 4 and 20, where a least common multiple is 120. So I could just keep guessing and checking. Now I could guess and check that maybe 8 and 20 are going to work here. So let's look at the multiples of 8. 8, 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40. Oh goodness, I already know this isn't going to work. The multiples of 20 are 20, 40, 60. Oh goodness. The least common, oh, not that one. The least common multiple, sorry about that. The least common multiple, the LCM of 8 and 20 is 40. All right. And I need the least common multiple to be 120. Again, I can just keep guessing and checking. It doesn't hurt to guess and check. I can already see that 12 won't be it. The least common multiple between 12 and 20 is 60. Because I know 12 times 5 is 60. 3 times 20 is 60. So the least common multiple between 12 and 20 is going to be 60, not 120. Let's check 16 and 20. Let's write out the multiples of 16. Wonder if your teachers gave you a method using the product of primes, because my guessing and checking is just taking me a while. So multiples of 16 would be 16, 32, 16 times 3 is 48. What's 16 times 4? 64? Could be this one. What's 16 times 5? I bet you 16 times 5 is probably 80. 6 times 5, oh no, it won't be. Oh yeah, it will be. 6 times 5 is 30. Put down a 0, carry a 3. 5 times 1 is 5, and 3 more is 8. Oh, crud. Oh, crud. I can tell you it's not 16 and 20. It must be 20 and 24, because it says the numbers have to be less than 24 or less. So the multiples of 20, we know from before, are 20, 40, 60, 80. Oh, God. The LCM between 16 and 20 is 80. It better be 20 and 24. It's got to be 20 and 24. It has to be 20 and 24. This is the longest video I've done in a long time. Okay, hold on. Let me erase these. Let me write out the multiples of 24 and hope the least common multiple between 20 and 24 is 120, because I know this method has to work, even though it's taking me forever. Multiples of 24. I'm sure your teachers taught you a more efficient way. So the multiples of 24 would be 24, 48, 24 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, and so that's 72. The good news is you can tell I don't do these problems ahead of time, because if I did, I would have taken the time to find the most efficient method, and I just went with what I thought would be a way to go about this. 24 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8, and we're up to 96. I bet you 24 times 5 is probably 120. Sorry about that. My slide keeps jumping. So let's check 24 times 5. It's got to be 120. 4 times 5 is 0, carry a 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 more is, woohoo, 120. Guess what the least common multiple between 20 and 24 is 120. Guess what the greatest common factor of 20 and 24 are? 4. And I'll double check that for you. So it must be 20 and 24 are the two numbers they're looking for. Let's just check the factors of 20, the factors of 24. The factors of 20 we did before. so sorry this video is so long. Factors of 20 were 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Now let's just check the factors of 24. And let's just make sure the greatest common factor is 4. So let's check the factors of 24. That would be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Sorry about this. Lot of writing. Okay, long story short, greatest common factor between 20 and 24 is 4. Least common multiple of 20 and 24 is 120. Whew, that was a lot of work. I'm guessing there has to be a more efficient way. But I hope that helps. It's just a lot of work. Wow. Okay. Well, that's my method.